Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to the OverAchievers Podcast, episode 38, Acid Trip. Joining me today is actually two guests. It's been a while since I've had a three-way. One is one you're very well familiar with, Mr. Uwu himself, John.
I don't know if I want to be called Mr. Uwu.
You literally said I can ask you about the Uwu in this episode like 10 seconds ago.
I have no memory of this, Taylor.
It's in recording, so too bad.
Damn it!
And our other guest, one who I've had on the podcast only once before, who now goes by a different name. Please help me welcome Pastrami.
Ooh.
Mr. Uwu, it's you.
Oh no, I have two of them now.
You can be the meat in our Uwu sandwich, Taylor.
Oh.
I don't like the sound
Yeah,
of
me
this.
neither. But
That really sounds kinky.
Then why did you say it?
this sounded really kinky and weird.
It does. Oh, for reference, Pastrami used to be known as Whiskey Mongoose and was on, I believe it was episode 13, where he covered Loop Hero.
Yeah.
But today, both Pastrami and John are here to cover a very different game. So, gentlemen, take it away.
Okay, do you want me to introduce it?
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Okay, today we are going to be talking about the game Lunacid, which is... it's a dark fantasy dungeon crawler, which is inspired by pre-Souls FromSoft games, especially, well, just pretty much Kingsfield and, to like a lesser extent, Shadow Tower. But it really is just like a modern version of the Kingsfield games, which is super cool because those are games I was always interested in as a big FromSoft fan, but, I played probably about 10 minutes of Kingsfield 1, and I just could not take playing a PS1 game. Especially because it's first person, and like doing that with a controller is kind of awful.
No.
So when Lunacid came out, I was super interested in it, and I bought it at the end of 2023, and didn't get around to playing it until the start of 2025.
Oh my goodness.
And there's, I can go like very briefly into the story of the game if you want. I tried my best to summarize it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is like very, very brief. The world was transformed when a great beast arose from the sea and spread poisonous fog across the earth. This created not only an age of magic, but also an age of death and monsters. Humans created the Great Well and cast anything undesirable into it, including our character. And that's kind of the story of the game, is you wake up in the Great Well, and you have to traverse it and do your best to sort of escape.
So you got thrown down a trash chute, basically. If you are, quote, undesirable.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, you start off in, like, the back of a gravedigger's cart, and he literally just, like, tips you off the edge into the pit.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you think I missed anything there, Pastrami?
No, I think that was actually pretty accurate.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So that was John's experience with the game. Pastrami, how about yourself? When and why did you pick up this game?
I played this game because it was in a Humble Bundle.
Okay.
It was it was a dungeon crawling Humble Bundle and whatnot. So it was I think it was like maybe the third game I played from that bundle.
Oh, cool.
And I was was really looking forward to it because first person kind of PS1 graphics and that's pretty much the reason why I actually played that masterpiece.
So
that's awesome. Okay.
So I'm sure Taylor is as well, but I first heard about this game back when it was still in early access from Iron Pineapple's YouTube channel, who like always covers Souls games and Souls likes. You didn't hear about it from his channel or anything?
Pastrami, I think that was directed at you.
Oh no,
or was that was that at me?
That was I was saying that you presumably also Taylor heard about it from Iron Pineapple's channel.
Oh, sorry, no, I misunderstood the question.
It was
Apologies.
Pastrami.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Okay, you just saw it in a Humble Bundle. You were like, let's check this out.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Okay, I was confused when you said you. I was like, hang on.
Yeah, no, I
thought it was
very,
Pastrami, and I was like,
poorly.
wait a second. I will say though, I also did not know about this game. I do watch Olive and Pineapple's videos, shill for his channel. But he's on like what, episode 40 of what he calls Steam dumpster diving, where it's like between 7 and 9 games per video. Yeah. Like it got lost in the sauce, man. It got lost in the sea of other games that he's covered.
Interesting. This one like really stood out for me. Like, yeah, he covered it when it was in early access, and so like I added it to my wish list. And I was like, this looks like the kind of game I want like the full experience for. And I think I picked it up probably like the week before it went into full release, because they did like or the dev did a little discount before full release, and the price was going to go up after it fully released. So I was like, I'll grab it now, and I'll play it when I have some time. And yeah, like 14 months later, I finally got to play it.
No, that's fair. Okay. So the question for both of you: did you go into the game with the intention of getting all achievements, or did you play it and then decide to come back to it later?
Pastrami, did you want to do yours first?
Yeah, I'll go first. The answer would be no. Okay. I played a game because, like I said, it was in a Humble Bundle, and basically I just wanted to go through that list like the fastest as possible. But I was so into that game that after playing like a short while, I was like, I gotta do 100% of that game for sure.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like it has a really good feel to it, and you just have to go. Oh my god, so go deeper.
No, you're trying to get out of the well. Sorry, Pastrami.
Yeah.
I can believe that. It's all good. Okay, so kind of a related question then. Pastrami, when you do, pick up a Humble Bundle, do you try to play everything in the bundle, or do you just kind of pick and choose, play a couple, and then leave a couple?
Fact, I take all the game from the list, from the Humble Bundle, and I put them into a kind of filter.
Okay.
Has, like, I'm playing the worst reviewed one first.
That's so smart.
And then I go up in ranking.
Oh my god.
And I'm saying I'm gonna keep the best one for the last ones, right?
Yeah.
But yes, sometimes it's a good technique, sometimes it's not.
No, that's fair. Okay.
So you don't even just skip the bad ones. You're just like, I'll do them. I'll do them all.
Right.
Sometimes I skip because it's just unbearable at some point for some of those games.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So when you say Humble Bundle, do you mean like the monthly bundle where you just pay the subscription and you get the games, or do you specifically seek out some of the bundles that they put on sale?
Oh, it's some of the bundles that they announce sometimes, like this is a dungeon crawling one, this is a shooter one.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not the Humble Monthly, which is what a lot of people I think do. It's more of the traditional bundle, which that makes much more sense.
Yeah, the true and only Humble Bundles.
That makes more sense, because then like, if it's like a dungeon crawling one, like you're interested in that genre, you'll probably like most of them. Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
How mad?
Okay, John, how about yourself?
How mad people would be to like get a Humble Monthly and it's only a genre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like every like Humble Choice or whatever, there's always like, especially recently, there's been like 3 strategy games like every month, and I'm like, I don't want to play these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
All right, John, how about yourself? What was your experience?
So one of the reasons that I wanted to do this game on an episode was that I would not only not have all achievements, I would not have finished this game without Pastrami.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, like I said, I picked it up end of 2023, put it off for like 14 months, played it. I literally started it a month ago today, and
oh wow,
I had a god-awful time. I played about 3 hours, and I was like, god damn it, this game sucks, and I Alt F4'd and I uninstalled it.
Oh.
And then, like, 2 weeks later, probably, Pastrami sent me a message on Facebook, and like, I think he said like, oh wait, I see you've been playing Lunacid, and I was like, yeah, I played it a bit, but I kind of hated it and realized it wasn't for me. And Pastrami said like, it's one of those games that if I could, I would wipe it from my mind so I could like re-experience it again for the first time.
Oh wow.
And Pastrami was just telling me about like how much fun he had with it, and I was like, okay, maybe I gotta give it another go. And like we talked a little bit about like what kind of character I was making the first time, and Pastrami gave me a couple of tips on how to make a slightly better character build, I guess, or one that would give me more success.
Okay.
And it made such a difference, and I had so much fun playing it the second time.
Okay, wow.
But yeah, if it wasn't for Pastrami, wouldn't have all achievements, wouldn't have played any more than like 3 hours of the game. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it.
I don't want to brag about it, but I feel like a kind of mentor on that one.
Yeah, like even after that, like I was asking you loads of questions about it.
Yeah.
Like telling you about my journey, and because it's one of those games where it really is quite good to play it pretty blind, I'd say. It's really cool to explore and find all the secrets, find a lot of secrets yourself. And so I was like asking like vague questions, like, I don't know, like, can I do this thing, or like what kind of weapon should I look for early on, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, Pastrami definitely was my mentor for this game.
Okay. So with trying to keep things vague then, if you wanted, let's say, John, in your experience, if you wanted people to be able to kind of better understand and experience the game so they're not put off like you were in those early hours, what I guess would both of you recommend, just like general tips to help people, again, enjoy that experience and not just bounce off of it?
So my tip, and this is the one that I got from Pastrami, is as cool as a mage build seems, don't do it for your first playthrough.
You do like your
I
mage
love my
builds.
mage builds, and it sounded cool, and yeah, my build just wasn't working. I was like struggling. I couldn't kill enemies in the second area. And so Pastrami said like, oh, just go for like start off as a knight and just do a melee build. And doing my melee build, I was like 3-shotting the enemies in the second area, and it made such a big difference.
That sounds like it. Oh my
so yeah,
god.
that's my suggestion, is as cool as the magic sounds, do a melee build for your first playthrough.
Okay. That makes sense. Pastrami, anything you want to add, Mr. Guru?
Well, it's pretty much the same tips and tricks. Like you don't have to do a mage on the first playthrough, because you're kind of going to regret it at some point, because spells in this game are kind of hidden, and well, good weapons are kind of hidden too, but I mean, it's way better to go with something more physical than magical on this one.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think
that's
there's like even on my melee build, one of the bosses I was really struggling with, and I like looked up online, and it was like, oh, you should just, if you want the win, you should just use this spell. And I'd done a lot of exploring at this point, and I was like, okay, I've probably got everything. And I looked at my inventory, and I did not have this spell. So like pretty much the best spell is super hidden and really hard to find.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, but being a mage would be cool, but it's not as good as like Dark Souls. Well, it's not as good as Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. So, I guess this is more a question for Pastrami more than John, because John, you did this recently. Pastrami, have you gone back to the game since getting all achievements?
Nope, sadly.
Okay. No, that's fair. Are you, and this is more kind of a me thing, like, are you very similar to me, where when you get all achievements, you're kind of like, okay, I'm done. I felt like I've done everything I can in the game. I'm not going back.
Kinda, I'd say, because, well, 100% achievement in this game pretty much means you got everything done, basically. But there are some games out there that even if you have 100, all the achievements, there's still some stuff that you can do and gotta do, but it's not really the case in this one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. I think the only reason to go back to this one would be to do like a different build, which I would probably do. Like I did a melee build as this one, but I could try a dedicated mage build again, or I could do a ranged build, because there's like archery, and I think guns.
You know, I was like, yeah, doing like another build will be pretty cool to do. But the thing is that, you know, the same stuff are exactly the same place, same secret. And while I was just thinking about this right now, was like, what about a randomizer of this game?
I was just thinking that.
That would be amazing.
That'd be so sick. Like all the same like hidden walls, like illusory walls and stuff, but like it would be a different random weapon or a spell behind them.
Like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Oh, that'd be so good. I wish that was like officially in the game. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's email Kira.
Yeah, right.
Please add randomizer mode.
So send them this episode when it goes up. Be like, hey, make them all.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd like that.
John, did you do a video on this game?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No, all the footage I recorded was just for you.
Well, thank you. And Pastrami, do you still stream?
Not at the moment. No, it's been like a year since.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I was gonna plug the video and/or channel if it was applicable. I'll still plug John's channel, and Pastrami, if you want me to plug your streaming channel, I'm happy to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's no video to reference for this one, I'm afraid. This was just a John's spare time game. Which is why I didn't play it all of last year.
Yeah,
there
that's
wasn't
fair.
a lot of that.
Okay, so what was your playtime, gentlemen?
Okay, I can do mine first. I think we skipped over the first question, but there's 26 achievements in the game.
Oh, we totally did. Wow. My bad.
Which is really low, I think.
Yeah, 26 is nothing. I shouldn't say it's nothing, but it's very small in comparison.
It is, yeah. Yeah, we're used to about 50 or so. And so my playtime for that was 17.1 hours. And
okay.
How long to beat says the average for completionist is 21.5 hours.
Oh, wow. So you really sped on that.
I did a little bit, yeah. What was yours like, Pastrami?
Oh, you said 17.1 after completing everything?
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm at 17.1 too.
What? What the hell?
What is happening?
Holy, okay.
Wait, then what was everyone on How Long to Beat doing?
I don't know, maybe I looked up a guide earlier than some people. Maybe some people like really tried to like completely 100% it without looking up guides.
Hold on.
Yeah, I wonder what like the longest time was. It's probably like 50 hours or something.
For completionists, they say like 20 hours and a half, like on average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completionist.
Interesting.
Okay, so I think the leisure category, or like the qualifier, is like the longest time, and the longest time is 34 hours.
Okay, so that would drastically bring up the average.
Yeah,
okay.
Rushed was almost 16 hours, so yeah, we weren't quite as fast as like the fastest.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So, I'm really curious to see if you guys share similar answers for these next coming questions. You can pick whichever order you want to answer in. What were the hardest and easiest achievements for you personally during this time?
Did you want to do yours first?
I'll do first, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Easiest, I would say, obviously Fit and Mire.
Okay.
Because it's just open, like, you reach an area, basically, and it's one of the first area. And the hardest one... yeah.
Because I struggled.
The hardest one for me was the second VHS. And it's because I had a bug with the corrupt key.
Oh.
Yeah, which is I think we'll be discussing more on later.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you've got tales about this game, but we're saving that for a bit later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and John, you said your hardest was Pastrami's easiest?
I almost put it as that, because I think the start of the game is kind of the hardest, because you have less resources available. And for this achievement, I got in that first attempted playthrough, which was only a couple of hours, when I was like struggling through everything. So I almost had that as my hardest.
Oh,
But
interesting.
for easiest, I just went with Fledgling, which is where you reach level 25. If you're
Okay.
going to reach the end of the game, you're guaranteed to be at least level 25 by the end. Like, it's pretty much impossible to miss this achievement, so I said that was my easiest.
Okay. Interesting.
And then my hardest, I said, was the Unkillable Curse, which is where you defeat Cursed Knight Suxarius.
Ooh.
Which is, that's the boss I mentioned a little bit earlier. And when I got to him, I literally wasn't doing damage to him. He recovers health just steadily over the fight. And like I was just like wailing away on him, like smacking him in the face with a sword. And I'd like look down at the health bar and it would just zoop back up to full health just constantly.
Oof.
I was like, okay, I'm obviously missing something in here, and I wasn't missing something. So I literally just had to leave that boss and go find that super OP spell, and went back to him and just destroyed him with the super OP spell. But yeah, that was a hard fight, even on the easiest difficulty.
Huh. So, okay, so Strami, let me ask you this then. You said your hardest was a specific boss because it bugged out on you. If that boss had not bugged out on you, do you agree with John's pick, or do you think there was something that was more difficult than that, just to do on a regular?
Well, on my side, it wasn't a boss actually.
It was literally like a puzzle.
Okay,
It's kind of a puzzle.
I misunderstood then. Okay.
The last one is pretty rough.
Yeah, you think that's a hard fight too?
Yeah,
okay,
it was.
It's hard.
Or
yeah.
maybe like not hard as like some Dark Soul boss out there, but definitely stressful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Stressful and hard in terms of this game. I think like some of the game is easy, but like that boss was definitely a step up, I thought.
Okay, so like the relative difficulty is definitely there.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it would be hard even if he wasn't healing the whole time.
Still, self-healing bosses are just annoying.
Constantly. Yeah, it was tough.
Okay, so what were the most and least fun for you then?
Do you want me to do mine first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'll start with most fun. I just said the most fun was Lunacid, which is where you. I don't even want to like read too much of this achievement. It's where you
don't just brief overview.
It's where you did something and achieved the true end, which
that's
is
fair.
Kind of funny because it's not really the true end.
Oh,
it's,
interesting.
kind of a trolly achievement title. But yeah, that was the first ending I got, and I felt like it just kind of encompassed how much fun I'd had with this second playthrough. And so I wanted to put that as my most fun.
Well, that's lovely. Okay.
I'm wondering if we're going to agree on least fun. I said least fun was Complete Arsenal, which is where you obtain every weapon.
Yeah, I got exactly the same one.
Okay. I literally just realized that achievement title is a joke as well.
Wait, what?
It's Complete Arse. Like the English way of saying ass.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what an arse is, but arsenal is just like a collection of weapons.
Yeah, but like saying it like complete arsenal, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's meant to be like a dirty joke.
Man, I hate to like blow. Maybe I'm gonna blow your mind with this, John. There was a Ratchet and Clank game called Up Your Arsenal that did the joke much better.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's okay. I get the joke. I'm not sure if that was intended though. Just from hearing complete arsenal, I'm like, oh, a complete collection of weaponry.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe
this
it's just
game's
me.
a little bit quirky.
Okay. It seems a little out there.
This game
for sure.
literally has uwu.
Wait, what?
There's one of the secret weapons you get. You have to like literally go and stare at a tree branch for a little bit, and when you've stared at it long enough, it literally puts the text uwu in the bottom left of your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Did you send me footage of this?
It might be in there actually.
Because I don't remember. I didn't go through all of the footage. But you sent me, what was it? Tower farming. Hang on, let me check.
It would be
here.
in the gameplay.
You sent me general gameplay. Okay, I'll see if I can find it.
Because it is in most of the general gameplay I sent you was the archives library level, and it is in there that you get it. Yeah. So it might actually be there.
Oh god, I forgot to ask about the ooh. I'm glad it came up naturally.
But yeah, this achievement, you have to obtain every weapon in the game. And in order to do that, you have to find every single secret, because this game is very inspired by FromSoft, so there are illusory walls everywhere in every single level, and most of them hide secret weapons. But not only do you have to find those, you also have to farm for weapon drops from specific enemies, which is why I sent you that farming footage.
I hate that. Oh.
And I think most of the drop rates are like really low, like 2 to 5% or something. And not only do you have to find all the hidden weapons and farm all the weapons from enemies, probably about half the weapons have a second or third form, so you have to upgrade every weapon. And in order to upgrade a weapon, you have to use it a certain number of times and fill up that weapon's experience meter.
Exactly.
Okay.
So not only are you like farming enemies to get weapon drops, once you've got all of them, you literally just have to go farm enemies that give high weapon experience over and over to level and upgrade every single weapon.
Oh, that sounds awful. So the enemies don't... Okay, wait, how does the game determine what enemies give more or less weapon experience? Just by, like, the difficulty of the enemy?
I think so. I did all my weapon grinding in the very last area of the game with some of the toughest enemies, and they seem to give pretty decent experience. I don't know if it's, like, how much damage you're doing or anything. I just found that this was a good farming spot and didn't bother looking elsewhere for it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And like, I don't think it...
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I don't think it takes that long. I think... that was the last thing I did, was grinding all the weapons. I think it probably only took me about an hour and a half to level them all up and upgrade them all. But some of the farming took quite a while.
Like to get them in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a lot of unfun things all combined into one achievement.
Oh, it sounds like it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, you found the same, Pastrami?
Yeah, it's getting all the weapons is a thing. Getting all the upgrades is another thing, and like getting these rare drops is like something else. It's yeah,
I don't know.
It's not enjoyable.
Huh.
It's not. I don't know if you. When did you play this, by the way?
Oh my god, what was that? Hold on.
Like, I don't know how fresh it is in your mind. Like, this is obviously very fresh in my mind.
The last time I played was September 13 in 2024.
Okay, so not like too long ago at least.
Yeah, well, something can be like a little bit cloudy out there, but yeah.
Yeah. I know that the one weapon drop that caused me so much trouble, and this is probably most of the farming footage that I've given you, was in like it's like this desert temple, and you have to get 2 weapon drops from like these like Anubis kind of enemies. Those ones especially just took so long to get. Because like most weapon drops, like enemies will only drop like 1 weapon, so once you've got it, like, you're fine. But these guys drop 2 rare weapons, so once I got 1, I still had to keep farming them for the next one.
Okay. That sounds genuinely terrible.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a good achievement.
No. So, Pastrami, what was your most fun, to try to bring this, I guess, back to a more positive note?
It was a Moonlight Sword.
Okay.
And it was basically because of the tower that you have to do before. Oh, is it the tower before?
Yeah, the Tower of the Abyss.
Yeah. So yeah. That was like the kind of you gotta beat a tower in order to get there. That was fun to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so you gotta...
That sounds much less tedious.
So basically, it's this tower has 50 floors, and every floor has a combat encounter. And if you die, you have to restart from the very beginning. So it's a bit of a challenge. I think I also did that like quite late in my playthrough, and your reward for doing it is you get the Moonlight Sword from Kingsfield and Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and it's a very, very cool achievement and reference. And yeah, I can see why that was your most fun one.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Is it as powerful as it is like in the Souls games?
I think it's by the time I got it, I had more powerful weapons, but it is very strong.
Okay.
Every weapon has like an affinity, I guess, and so the Moonlight Sword has the light affinity, and I think light is the strongest or the best affinity to have because so many enemies are weak to light. It's like a little bit like Pokemon, where like every enemy like resists certain elements and is weak to certain elements. And yeah, like if you get light early, you're kind of set.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really cool sword.
So, okay, this is a question for, I guess, you then, Pastrami. How does it feel that your most fun achievement is technically contained within your least fun achievement, in the sense that, as I'm understanding it, if you didn't get this sword, you wouldn't be able to get the one for getting all the different weapons?
Well, I guess the thing is that the Moonlight Sword, like I said, is beyond that tower, the Shadow Tower that you have to beat. So, like, in order to get the sword, you have to do the tower, and that was one of the last things that I did from the game. So it's kind of a liberation kind of thing, and like a freedom feeling of like finishing, all achievements. But also, it's like the tower itself is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was part of getting all the weapons, yeah.
Okay, no, that's awesome. Okay, I understand more now. It's more the experience of the tower itself than getting the weapon.
Yeah, because like the Moonlight Sword is pretty fun to do, but all the rest is kind of annoying to do.
And something cool about the Tower of the Abyss is it actually has an online leaderboard for how fast you completed it.
Huh.
And I thought I went through it pretty speedily.
Yeah.
And I got to the top and I was like, let's compare my time to Pastrami's.
Oh no.
And he was 2 minutes faster than me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you were like 21 minutes and I think I was 23:35 or something like that.
I was 21 minutes like on the spot. You were at 23 and 25.
Okay, I was pretty close. Yeah, I thought I was like really going through there like really fast because I was pretty high level, but I think you were actually like about 8 levels higher than me when you did it, so it must have been the very last thing you did.
Yeah, it was like the last thing I did, but the thing is that you go into the unknown. Like, you don't know what's going to be on the next floor, and you're like, do I have the right weapon right now to do it? Or like, a little bit of a stress going up the floors, but yeah, no, it's so fun.
It is very stressful, and like, we haven't talked about like the mechanics too much, but you can have 2 weapons equipped at any time, and you like just scroll on your mouse. No, you don't scroll. You press Q to switch. The controls are awful in this game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You press Q to switch between your equipped weapons, and you can go into your inventory and like change which 2 weapons you've got equipped at any point. But like Dark Souls, it doesn't pause the game. So if you go into the tower and go into one of these encounters, and you've got like the wrong elemental weapons equipped, you kind of have to stand there and get wailed away on by enemies as you try and swap it out, like on the spot. Yeah, it's stressful, but it is cool.
Okay.
And the menu is also pretty Silent Hill-ish, so it's not easy to navigate through it.
No, it's awful. Like, especially like by the time both of us did this, like we probably had like most weapons, and like
it's awful. but it's awfully good, like, for the game itself.
Yes. Yeah, I just think, like, the UI is kind of terrible. The controls are terrible. But, like, when you go to switch weapons, it literally just gives you, like, one long vertical list of every weapon you've got equipped in alphabetical order.
Oh, God, I hate
that. You have to, like, scroll down to try and find, like, oh, where's my weapon under, like, F or whatever. And, like, sometimes you go, like, double-click on it and it just doesn't equip.
It's a kind of a mess.
It is
a beautiful mess.
How many weapons are in the game?
How many weapons? Many.
Yeah. I'd say maybe closest 50?
50 on the dot, actually.
What?
Wow,
Yeah.
That's... Man, I can't imagine trying to menu 50 weapons.
Because we posted it at, like, the end of the game, so we had, like, about 50 weapons. And yeah, it's just, like, you've got, like, a scroll bar you can, like, drag to move down faster, but, like, yeah, the weapon UI is not good.
Hey, you want to change your spell? Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You can have 2 spells equipped, and yeah, you also, if you want to change them, you do it on the fly without pausing, and you go through your long list of alphabetical spells.
Oh, that's... I feel like there is so much better menuing that could have been done than going alphabetical.
Yeah, I don't know, like, it's a solo developed project, so it's obviously extremely impressive for being done by one person. And I think part of it is, like, presumably, like, limitations from just being solo developed, but also, like, it is a throwback game, and, like, it's meant to be kind of, like, obtuse and, like, doesn't hold your hand, and, like, that's definitely reflected in the UI and everything, so
yeah.
I think it's partially on purpose, but it doesn't mean it's not annoying.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That sounds... It sounds needlessly frustrating, even if they are trying to recreate, like, what am I looking for? Nostalgic experience?
Yeah, like a throwback vibe, for sure. But yeah, it is annoying. But you learn to live with it. You learn to make do.
Fair enough. Now, I did look at the rarest one on the list. Who would like to tackle this one?
I can tell you that it is indeed Complete Arsenal. The Obtain Every Weapon achievement is the rarest one, with 5.5% of people getting it.
Nice.
I guess...
So, okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you feel like this deserves its place on the list?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally, yeah. Like, some of the other rarest ones... like... Yeah, like, it's like the Dark Souls one. Like, the one in Dark Souls 1 was you had to gather a bunch of random weapons to get that achievement, and I think that was always, like, the rarest one in Dark Souls 1 as well, and it's exactly like that, so I can totally see why people wouldn't want to grind every weapon and farm every weapon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you guys have already gone pretty in-depth as to why this one sucks.
Oh, I forgot to mention that in order to get this achievement, you have to, I'm not being funny here, play the game when there's a legitimate full moon in the real world.
Now,
Wait, what?
hold on. I think, and I just remembered that too, the Moonlight is not part of the all weapon achievement.
Is it not?
Because of that thing, I think.
Oh, so the Moonlight Sword is separate from the all weapons achievement.
Yeah, because, like, it's such like it's kind of locked because of that full moon thing.
Okay.
So, it kind of sucked that you gotta wait for a full moon in order to get that sword, in order to get all the achievement. I mean, all the weapons. But I think it's not part of the all weapons thing.
Oh, is it not? I just assumed it was, and I got it.
Because I think I got. Hold on. I'm gonna take a look. I'm pretty sure that in the last achievement that I got, Moonlight Sword was September 13 at 2:27 a.m. and complete the arsenal was September 10 at 2:12 a.m. So that means I got 3 days, all the weapons before the Moonlight Sword.
Oh, interesting. So like the Moonlight Sword isn't the one that requires playing on a full moon, but it obviously isn't required for the all weapons, so that's really interesting.
Oh, interesting.
I think because it's an achievement, it's kind of an achievement in itself.
Yeah,
it's not part of the all weapon achievement.
Interesting. Huh.
Which is also weird. So they require you to play when there's an actual full moon, and that is part of an achievement. But then the one where you just have to engage with a part of the game at any point during the day or the month is not part of the achievement.
Yeah, now I don't know if that's like the full moon, like the one that you have to play on the full moon is included in the achievement. I assumed it was and made sure I got it along the way.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's a weird game.
Is there a separate achievement for the full moon one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then maybe it's not counted in the arsenal.
Yeah, that's true. It might not be.
No, it's not. It's not.
This game is so confusing.
Welcome to Lunacid.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, like if Moonlight was excluded, then maybe that other weapon would be excluded, but you still have to get it to get all achievements, because there is an achievement tied to it.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah, so apparently it's not every weapon.
Yeah, really. I hate when they do that. They're like, collect every weapon. By the way, you're going to exclude, between 1 and 3 weapons.
Yeah. This game is also like quite difficult to find information on, I found when I was trying to go for all achievements.
Oh, really?
Thus is the plight of indie games.
And I guess something else to say about the achievements in this game is it did launch in early access. I think when it launched in early access, it only had like 11 achievements. And so every update added like at least one new achievement, or like every major update added more achievements. So I think like the rarity numbers are a bit skewed because of that. Like people will have played in early access and like won't have any achievements. Like the one that Pastrami said for his easiest one, where you reach the sewer, which is like the third area kind of. Only 65% of people have that one.
Oh, weird. Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I think a lot of people have got there, but just did it before there were achievements kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it didn't retroactively apply, especially if they didn't boot up the game afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think so. But hey, maybe there's a lot of people who bounce right at the start of the game like I almost did.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so I feel like I know the answer for both of you, but I want to hear it from you guys. What was the most memorable one, and what, helped it leave such an impression on you?
For me, we've already talked about it, but I said a Moonlight Sword doing the Tower of the Abyss was the most memorable one for me. But partially because, it's a cool reference to games that I really, really love.
Yeah. And that, and also the let's say maybe the unkillable curse, the defeat the cursed knight, Suctorius.
Okay.
The last boss basically.
Yeah, the tricky
because
boss.
you know at this point you're just done with the game and it's like, oh, I beat it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good feeling.
That's fair. That sense of relief, of victory. Okay, no, absolutely. Those are both. They sound like great ones. Okay, I want to ask your opinions on this. This is hypothetical. What would you have done if, to get the Moonlight Sword, you had to beat the Tower of the Abyss on the night of a full moon?
Okay, well, I'll be honest. When I got the weapon that actually required playing on a full moon, I changed my Windows date to be...
Yeah. I was going to ask if that was an option.
Yeah, I looked up the next one and just set it to that, and it worked. So... sorry, go ahead.
On my side, I could have been able to do so because I think like the full moon was on the 17th of September or something like that, and I got the achievement on the 10th of September.
Okay.
So like I just didn't want to wait for it. I mean, I know it's a kind of a lore thing and everything, but yeah, I guess changing the Windows options is just the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think like. My whole playthrough, I think I did in like 8 days or something. And like when I was looking up like the weapons, the next full moon was 2 weeks away, and I was like, I can literally finish all the achievements in this game in the next like day and a half. I'm not gonna put it off for 2 weeks when I can just change a Windows setting. So if it was the same for the Moonlight Sword, I would have done the exact same.
Okay.
But like in the case that, you know, changing the Windows option would have been an option, I wouldn't have minded, because, you know, it's kind of it's locked between like a one night, one day per, like in particular, that you have to play. But I mean, that would have been fine too.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like you guys are gonna have the same answer for this one. Is there an achievement you would remove for the game, and why?
Well, I mean, like, apart from Complete Arsenal, I guess. I said no because there's only 26.
Yeah.
And like, I understand why Complete Arsenal's in there, because like it is a super FromSoft achievement to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not fun, but I wouldn't take it out. I don't know if you thought differently, Pastrami.
Nah, I guess it's pretty fair for like all the achievements that are there, because some of there are just like get to a point, then do something, reach a certain level. I mean, only 26, it's not that bad. And I mean, they all have like a pretty a specific meaning, like, you know, the endings and whatnot. So yeah, no, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me alter the question then. Is there a particular weapon you would want to remove from the Complete Arsenal achievement to make it easier? So like this would be the base weapon as well as its upgrades.
I'd say no.
Okay.
I would just maybe bump up some of the drop rates.
Fair.
Yeah. Or maybe like have an item that, you know, can help the drop rate to be increased. But
yeah, like something you get like very late in the game, like yeah, I don't know.
Or like a spell that it boosts your luck or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I like that. Like,
okay.
I don't know, like bumps it up to like 10% or something from 2%.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I think the farming footage I sent you was like half an hour, and it was all just trying to get these 2 weapons. And like,
oh wow,
you know, half an hour is not, well, I think it probably was about an hour.
It's for 2 weapons, it's significant.
And I definitely was farming it before I started recording for the footage.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, I think I would just bump up the drop rates, or give you some kind of late game option to do it in game would be cool.
Okay. So, is there a you know, a way of playing or something that there is not achievement for, but there should be one for?
I said yes, because like Pastrami mentioned, a lot of the achievements are literally just reach this area, reach this area, reach this area. But not every area has an achievement, so I said like just put achievements for every area in the game. It would make more sense.
No, that's
why
fair.
some were excluded.
I mean,
yeah, that is weird.
With how the developer of this game went wild on so many things in the game, he could have been wilder for some achievement and get like a lot of other achievement in there, just so, you know, maybe you know, kill a ghost of yourself, you know, kind of things like that. But yeah, no, this should have been like way more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel like there could have been like double the achievements, and there would still be. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things to do in there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, that is weird though about the areas. Like some are. Do you think it had to do with how the early access achievements were rolled out?
I don't think so, because the second last update added 3 areas and they all got achievements.
Oh, weird.
And like the early access version had 6 area achievements. So like they were in there like the whole time, just some were excluded. And I don't know why.
That is really
weird.
Okay. Are you able to soft lock yourself out of any of these? I know, Pastrami, you'd started mentioning one a while back that was bugged.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that? Is that is this question where you wanted to talk about that?
Well, I guess you don't have anything to talk about it then, John, right? You didn't really softlock yourself, right?
No, I have a slightly different answer for this one, but
Oh, interesting.
Well, you go ahead.
okay. So I don't. Like I said, this game's hard to find information on, so I'm not 100% sure on this. But one of the endings you get is you get it if you've collected all spells and you've solved the VHS puzzles that Pastrami's going to talk about. And so if you've met both of those requirements and you go to the end of the game, you get this special ending. And so my understanding is if you do these things before getting the normal ending, you can only get the special ending, and you theoretically have locked yourself out of getting the regular ending. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so as long as the conditions are met, you don't have a choice in which ending you get. You automatically are given one.
Because you do the exact same action at the end of the game to get the ending. It's just dependent on whether you have all the spells and you've completed these puzzles. So yeah, I think if you don't go for the normal ending before you do these things, you can lock yourself out of getting the normal ending. Which is worrying.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, and Pastrami, what is the one you wanted to mention?
On my part, it was the second VHS.
Okay.
The thing is that in the first VHS that I don't want to be like too spoilerish, but in the first VHS that you watch, it gives you like a kind of a hint in order to get a key, which is the corrupted key. And in order to get that key, you have to go to a specific place with a specific spell in order to, you just tap the target. I don't know what like you trigger something going there, and the key drop on the ground, and you take it, and then you go to do the rest of the achievement. The thing is that big brain me, the spell that is used is a lightning spell,
Okay.
And I was looking at my swords and weapons, and I was like, the sword that I have, which was the Vampire Hunter sword, is a lightning kind of sword, so the icon means it's lightning or whatever.
Yeah, it does like lightning damage.
Yeah. So it's like, so I don't have the spell, but I have a weapon that could do the same element. So I'm just gonna go there and hit the part that I need to, hit with a spell, but with my weapon instead. So by doing that, the key dropped on the ground, but I was not able to take it. And I left the area and I came back and the key was gone. And no matter how hard I tried to hit it again or whatever, it didn't spawn again.
Yeah.
So in order to have access to the second VHS, you need the corrupted key, which I wasn't able to get anymore.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that was pretty a soft lock. But the thing is that the developer actually released a save editor that you can add the corrupted key in your inventory, and therefore you can just like continue the achievement. But yeah, it's pretty unfortunate like how it happened.
Yeah,
like it almost made me quit of doing the 100% because of that little fact, because I didn't want to do the whole game just in order to, have the second VHS achievement.
Yeah, just to fix this one thing.
Yeah, so like I went on the Discord and was like, hey, blah blah blah, I'm lucked out from doing that achievement, and like somebody pointed out, you can use a save editor, and which I did, and it worked, and I got it done.
Okay, that's crazy though. Wow. Okay. That is interesting. So the developer clearly knew that there were going to be some coding issues, and that's probably why they developed the save editor to help people get past them. That's a nice touch, though.
But I don't know, like, why it's not have been an odd fix since then, because
Yeah, really.
I think
it's actually pretty groundbreaking. What?
Because when I did it, I made sure I used the spell because we talked about it. I was like, are there any missable achievements? And Pastrami's like, make sure you use lightning at this point. And so I used it, and the key didn't drop. It just got added right to my inventory.
Oh!
So I think it has been patched, but presumably because of that issue.
Huh.
So it doesn't drop anymore. It just go in the inventory right away.
Yeah, it's not like
Or
a
maybe
pickup on
because
the
you
ground.
were exactly at the place where it dropped.
Maybe. Yeah,
It drops right next to the gate.
I did it pretty far back.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's fixed then.
I think so, yeah, because I didn't see it on the ground at all. It literally just, like, as soon as I did the spell, it was like, bam, corrupted key in your inventory.
Damn, amazing. Great devs.
Yeah, great dev.
Okay, good. That's good. If you at home watching it or listening to this play the game, please let us know if that has been fixed for you as well, or if John just got lucky.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it dropped exactly where I was, but yeah, I feel like it just got added right there.
Okay, well let's hope. Let's hope for the best.
Or maybe maybe it drops on the ground where you were at, and I don't know. Yeah,
maybe you were
not,
too
maybe
close or something. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Let us know.
yeah.
In the comments.
Please do. Okay. So how many times do you need to play the game to get all achievements? Like, do you have to do more than one playthrough? Are you able to do more than one playthrough?
Well, you can do more than one playthrough, but actually just one is enough. Except if you're named John, that you start with a mage.
yeah, just one proper playthrough.
Yeah.
But so there's multiple endings in the game, and you have to get them all to get all achievements. But after you get an ending, it just puts you back to the hub, and you can continue on and go for whatever other endings you still have left to do. So it's not like Dark Souls where like you get an ending and like bam, you're in New Game Plus. This one just puts you right back into the game and you can keep doing everything. So as long as you haven't locked yourself out of either of the things we just mentioned, yeah, just one playthrough is enough.
Okay. I hope that remains the case.
Me too. But I don't know, like I'm sure you can soft lock yourself out of the regular ending.
Fair.
It'd be hard to do, but I think it is possible.
Okay. Yeah. So, does the game reward you for getting all achievements?
Like apart from getting to see all the different endings, I don't think so.
Not really.
Yeah, there's nothing like tangible in game for doing it.
It's like,
that's usually how these things happen.
you know, the complete arsenal one, like, hey, you got all the weapons. Okay, so I'm still gonna use the same 2 weapons that I've been using all this time.
Very true. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like the whole time I was like grinding all these weapons at the end of the game. Didn't use any of them. Some of them looked cool, but it was like at the end of the game, it was like, I'm not using any of these.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Do the achievements feel rewarding?
I said that like a couple of them do, like the ones for killing bosses, but a lot of them, like most of them don't, because a lot of them are the ones we mentioned where you just get it just for walking into a new area.
Yeah. Hey, you've arrived to the Forbidden Archive. Here's an achievement. Yay.
Yeah. It's not even for like completing the area. It's just for walking in.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, those ones don't feel particularly rewarding. Is what I thought.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's see. Does it feel like, wait, this was a solo dev,
Yes.
right?
Akuma Kira.
Okay. Does it feel like the dev cared about the achievements?
I'd say yeah, but could have been better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said yes. Like
That's fair.
they all have nice artwork. I do like that. And a lot of them have like quite fun names. Like weirdly, like some of the area ones are just like the area name. So like Fetid Mire is getting through Fetid Mire and reaching the sewer. Yosei Forest, reach the forest. But then the one for reaching the catacombs is just randomly called Came Back Haunted.
What?
Just I don't know, it's like all the other ones are just like name of place is your achievement, but this one's called Came Back Haunted.
Yeah. So it's completely inconsistent.
Yes. Yeah, they're kind of
that's so
kind of fun
weird.
and quirky. So yeah, I think so. But like Pastrami said, could have been more.
Okay. No, I completely understand where that's coming from. Okay. Do the achievements require you to get 100%? I know, Pastrami, you kind of mentioned this already.
Yeah, excluding seasonal items, because there are like in-game events for like Halloween and Christmas. You don't have to get those, but yes, I'd say you have to get 100%. You got to get every weapon, got to get every spell, got to do every ending, things like that. Oh, you have to unlock every alchemy recipe as well.
Oh yeah, that was painful.
Which is really annoying. So yeah, that's I'd say you have to get 100% in this one.
Oh. Okay. No, fair enough. Let's see. I kind of know the answer to this one. Do the achievements feel unique in the genre?
No, like they're really similar to Dark Souls achievements, I think. Like the complete arsenal one is pretty much inspired by the one from Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls. You gotta get every spell, you gotta do everything, there's the achievement for killing bosses and things like that. Even Dark Souls had reach an area achievement. Like the first time you get to Anor Londo, you get an achievement for that. So I said no.
Yeah, no.
Okay, no, that's totally fair. And the game, is clearly inspired by others, so it makes sense that it would be following their formula.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in terms of achievements.
There's no like kind of funny things to do in order to get an achievement. It's not like all pretty much to the story, the lore itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, John, I know the answer for you in terms of did you use any guides. Your guide was Pastrami. Pastrami, did you use any guides when you were playing this?
Oh, hell yes, I did.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because, for all the area, all the area has secrets in it. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, at some point, you have to get those secret area in order to get a good weapon in order to continue with the story, But the thing is that because they're so well hidden sometimes it's just like a just a wall that you can you click on it and it just opens up. But sometimes you got to do something really specific in order to get there, or maybe like you have to follow up something and do something in order to unlock that area, So it's you need a guide in order to 100% this, because holy cow, there's too many things like hidden.
100%. Like I tried to go through every area blind and then like look up a map after I'd done it, and like something cool about the illusory walls is it actually shows up when you're facing one and you can interact with it. It shows up a little question mark in the bottom left of your screen. So it's not like Dark Souls 2 where you literally just have to run around and mash A on every wall and hope one of them is there. Like it does show when you're next to one. And even with that, like if you're playing blind, you're guaranteed to miss probably like half of them.
Oh wow! Okay.
Or like one of the Forbidden Archives, the NPC there, that you need 3 books.
Yes.
And after she's gonna give you something, a spell.
Yeah.
But you need those 3 books, and those 3 books are like in 3 other maps.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay.
I actually managed to find the 3 books like blind, which I was pretty proud of. But yeah, like there's a lot of backtracking and stuff, and like going back to earlier areas once you've got certain stats or certain items and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a particular guide you would recommend, Pastrami or John?
I got a good list here.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think one of the guides that I used was one on Steam. I don't remember exactly if it was, but yeah, I don't have like links or anything, but
I got you.
I've used I've used a spreadsheet in order to get to check mark everything that I had. Like,
you
for
used
weapons,
the Google Doc as well.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
for the spells and the items and all that stuff. But yeah, I guess hit me up, John.
Yeah, so someone called Lutic made this Google spreadsheet, which is just like an item and achievement tracker. So you just like mark off every weapon that you've got and every spell you've got and every ingredient and every alchemy recipe. So that was super helpful. I'm sure used probably both of these. Lunacid maps by Renka and Phantom Raptor. Those
Probably.
are the maps we talked about that are just essential to looking through every single level. I also used Etna's Alchemy Recipe Book by Renka because just the alchemy achievement is really annoying, and trying to guess all the recipes by yourself is really annoying, so I definitely wanted a guide for that. And then I also used one called Character Build Guide by Recursive Gamer, which was just like, oh, these are good stats for doing a melee build, these are some good weapons to aim for, and I think that made me have a much better time with my second playthrough.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's interesting that you use so many guides.
And yeah, you need to if you're going for all achievements in this one. There's not a chance. Even if you were like the most thorough player in the world, you would miss some. Like you might find all the secrets, but like there's some things and actions in this game that are so like you would never figure it out on your own kind of thing. Like that full moon one. Like you have to look something like that up.
No, that's fair. I would not have guessed that by any means. Okay, that's really interesting, and I will make sure to link those guides in the description down below. This one I always find really interesting. Has this experience changed the way you look at the game now, and do you regret it?
My second playthrough is quite different to my first one. No, like, yeah, it made me appreciate the game because, yeah, like the first time I played it, I just thought it wasn't for me. Like, if you look at the Steam reviews for this game, a lot of them are like, I loved this, but it's a really weird game and it won't be for everyone. So, like, when I hated it after a couple of hours, I was like, well, I guess, as much as I like FromSoft games, this kind of game just wasn't for me. But then, after doing this, I obviously realized, yes, it was for me because I got super sucked into this game and absolutely loved it. Yes, going for all achievements changed the way I looked at it because, yeah, before I did that, I didn't think I liked it. And no regrets at all.
Okay. How about yourself, Pastrami?
I mean, on my side of the story, it was a pretty nice thing to do, actually. From day one, I wanted to try to 100% this game, so it's not anything that I regret or not. But yeah, it has to be. You have to do it. I mean, it's just too good to not to.
It's very satisfying to get all achievements, I'd say, and like especially like probably the last ending you get. All the endings are really cool and interesting, and then definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's really cool. Okay. I'm glad you guys had an enjoyable experience because I know that's not necessarily always the case.
Sometimes there's regrets.
Yeah. Okay. This is always a really interesting one as well. Would you recommend other people going for all achievements? And is there a particular kind of player that would either enjoy or really hate this experience?
So I said I would. Like, it's 17 hours is relatively quick for all achievements.
Yep.
I just said, like, anyone who dislikes farming and grinding probably wouldn't enjoy it, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a relatively small part of that total playtime.
Okay. How about yourself, Pastrami?
I mean, I'd say, of course, but it's kind of grindy. It's some achievements out there are quite annoying, but I think if you really want the full experience of the game with all the endings and everything, I think to get all the achievements is like the thing to do.
Okay.
I guess
okay. No, that's
I would
nice to
probably
hear.
also say, like, if you absolutely hate having to rely on guides at any point in a game, you probably don't want to go for all achievements in this, because I'm sure you cannot do it without relying on guides at some point. Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, it's fine if you just want to go out there and just beat the game and you're done with it. I mean, it's entirely, it's really fair. But you just gotta, get everything because it's so good. Like all the little how can I say that? The little wink to all the other games or and whatnot, like the little woo, the weapon, the forbidden. I mean, it's just like if you didn't use any guide, or if you didn't want to go for the all weapon, all achievements, the uwu weapon, which is I'm not gonna say too much about it. You wouldn't be able to get it without a guide.
Okay.
And
because it's like way too specific of like a thing to do.
Oh yeah, it is. And even the Moonlight Sword, like the whole Tower of the Abyss, is hidden behind, I think, 2 illusory walls. So that is like so easy to miss. And like, that's this whole part of the game, this whole like optional cool challenge that you could very easily miss.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you wanted to just get through the game and do like your blind playthrough, then that's fine. But I do think you'd miss out on quite a lot of cool stuff if you don't go for all achievements in this one.
Exactly.
Okay. Nice. Okay, I need to know. Is the weapon any good? Like, you don't have to tell me what it is, just is it an effective weapon?
It sucks so bad.
Oh no.
It's kind of terrible, but there is like one enemy that it was like actually really good on, and I did use it for like a little bit on one specific enemy because they were weak to that kind of weapon.
Okay.
But later on, I went back to those enemies because I had to farm them for their weapon drop, and I just like used like my main weapon, and that just like one-shot them. So,
wow. Okay.
You do not need it, really.
Yeah. When I got it,
that is almost disappointing.
When I got it, I was like, oh yes, that's a cool new weapon. And I tried it on one of the monsters in the Forbidden Archives, and I was like, yo, what the hell, dude?
Actually, funnily enough, about that weapon is it's actually used in the any % speedrun.
What?
Oh my god.
Because
you gotta be kidding.
I don't know if I assume this has been patched, but like I watched the any % speedrun, and it's like 12 minutes or something. And it seemed to have some kind of quirk where if you attacked, it would like blast you backwards, and you could chain that over and over. So if you were just like mashing attack, you just fly backwards. And so like,
that makes sense.
The very first thing they do in the speedrun is just beeline for the uwu weapon, which is hilarious.
Oh, I love and hate that at the same time.
Yeah, if you watch an any % speedrun, there it is. There's that weapon.
Wow.
Okay then. Huh. Alright, I such a weird note to
We
end
came full
things
circle,
on,
we ended up on uwu.
We did. We started with uwu, we ended on uwu. I can't ask for a better conclusion.
That's it.
I do want to ask, are you like, does this game appeal to you, Taylor?
Not particularly, because I mean, I like to leave. How do I put this? I like to leave the old style of game, in the past, in my nostalgia, because I grew up on like GameCube and like N64 and Game Boy. Like I was not necessarily a PlayStation or Xbox kid until I got a 360. So I skipped over a lot of the early. Okay, I did. My buddies had PS2s, but I skipped over a lot of the early PS1, especially. Days, and I never had a PC for a long time, so like this kind of game holds no nostalgic value for me, and I feel like I would just get frustrated by the old systems, because in my mind, if you make a game that is inspired by older games, have the graphics, have the combat, that's fine, but your menuing and quality of life should still be modern.
I will say, like,
because I can't I can't handle it.
I don't have any nostalgia for like Kingsfield or anything either.
Yeah.
And I assume Pastrami also doesn't.
Nah.
So I think it's totally playable as like a modern game, but yeah, totally understandable if it's not for you. I was just wondering if our discussion of the game had intrigued you at all.
Like the thing is that you have to keep in mind that it's made by one single person.
Yeah.
And that, gameplay wise, maybe the person like is really good, but maybe the UI or menuing is probably his pet peeves or whatever. So I mean, if the UI kind of suck, it's maybe not because of that's why it was meant that way, but more like he did what he could, maybe, kind of way.
Yeah, like he was like really skilled at like doing like the movement and the combat and stuff, and then like the menuing was just like he had like a basic understanding of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I looked at the graphics and I'm just like, this would give me a headache trying to figure all this out.
It's fair, yeah. just curious.
Okay. No, then I think it's a fair question. All right. With all that being said, thank you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between you, so much for being here. Thank you, John and Pastrami, for being here. Really appreciate having you guys.
Thank you for letting us talk about this.
Yeah, thank you.
If there's ever a game you want to discuss, please feel free to hit me up, either of you. I am happy to have you on the podcast at any time to discuss almost any game. There's some games I'm like, but I haven't had one of those yet, so I hopefully won't.
Got a pitch for you about
visual novels.
Oh jeez.
It's not the kind of game I was necessarily looking for. I was more referring to visual novels, but
fine.
Listen, maybe we can talk about it.
I do not want to talk about honey.
All right. Well, you may or may not see John covering one of the honey games in the future. We will find out.
Yeah, we will.
With all that being said, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.